few nights ago, a radio signal got sent out from somewhere. There was these words playing on a loop.
Looks like Morse code. The island is real.
The mysterious island.
It's just some lunatic who's messing around on a ham radio.
It's not some lunatic. It's my grandfather. Get to these coordinates.
That's the deadliest part of the ocean. There is no island there.
He's been looking for Mysterious Island for years. What's the rest of the code say?
Coordinates, longitude, latitude.
We need to get out of here now!
We made it.
Terrifying creatures.
Run, 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 run!
This is amazing.
Well, don't just stand there. Grandpa, I am going to show you something that will take your breath away.
I can't believe it.
The heart of this island is full of jagged mountains, dark jungles.
It's the lost city of Atlantis.
Let me warn you.
Where are we?
The mysterious island. Wow.
Hold on!
Now, who's up for an adventure?
In this video, we, Movie Journey Joe, The Mysterious Island. We will discuss the storyline, summarize the plot, and explore the cast and character. Additionally, we will cover the movie production detail and boxer performance. Finally, we will provide reviews and share personal reactions. So let's get started. The early 2010s may have seen Johnson's one major franchise, but he failed to do the same with another one, Journey to the Center of the Art in 2011. Jones made his debut in the first in few movies in Fast Five, where he played Hopes. Fast Five was considered one of the best films of the franchise up until that point, and Johnson's was hired for the sixth sequel Thrill as well as 2019's final Fast and Furious Present Hobbs, and Shaw Fast Five was also the highest-grossing film in the franchise. Until that point, Fast Five's gross was over. Double the highest gross of the previous highest-grossing Fast and Furious film. The entire series, reportedly after that, as a follow-up of Fast and Furious 6, had an even higher gross, with $788 million picking with the Furious 7 before the Fast and Furious franchise. Box office began to decline. In 2012, Joan Johnson played one of the lead characters in Journey to Miss Mysterious Island. It was a sequel to the 2008 film Journey to the Center of the Art. Was Saved Branch as a razor in that lead role? Journey to a Mysterious Island was a box office success, making $335 million worldwide with a $79 million budget. Journey to turn a decent profit at the box office. His gross also passed that of the original 2008 film. In theory, Johnson's could have launched another successful film franchise after Journey 2, but Journey to the Center of the R3 never got off the ground. The Journey Tree from the R2B Moon, was originally announced following the success of Journey 2. Journey 3 was later canceled. However, it is important to note the dirty reason for the films. The cancellation seemed not French financial, but rather related to a creative decision, as Journey Tree ended up being too difficult to write. Jones is not managed to be revived on Journey to the Center of the Earth series. He did manage to be revived in a different franchise to great success. This was the adventure series, German a rebooted series, of the 1985 Robin Williams film, Jason in the German Welcome to the Jungle 2017. Unlike the film franchise success, they kick off a new franchise Jumanji success, further showcases the accent of which Nine Jones's Invalid has a way of resonating franchises, even if the opportunity totally was wasted with a journey to the center of the art. While his success in big-budget rant and franchise movies has been mixed, he seems to be excelling roles where he is allowed to take on an old franchise and make it his own, relying on his neck for balancing action and humors to put a new twist on an old IP. With so many upcoming projects on his plate, he is bound to find Nad franchise to bring a new generation soon. 12 years after his first lead role in a feature film 2002, the Scorpion King has spin-off of his role in Stamen's Come, Summer the Mummy Return. Dwayne Johnson saddles a four-direction adventure lock in Journey to the Mysterious Island, a secret 2008 journey to the center of the Earth, and a far cry for the actor's more recent outing in Fasten, and False Honing is a kid-friendly brief fake appeal into solid comedic performances. Journey to a Mysterious Island is nothing but funny family-friendly adventures aimed at the highest quarter. It's a perfect four-quadrant, a captain of which Divine Jers continue to flex his trademark physicality and has sense of comedic timing. Josh reminds us all knew under Hunger Game he was, and when he saw hundreds drawing anything to break free of her high school musical picking. I love the fun of a 3D VFX. No door designed to cash in on willing summer cinema audio is deciding to ask Gabriel, director Brad Peyton, who would go on to work with the Johnson Swiss more. For both San Andreas, Sandy Rampage delivers the goods in terms of respect and present and remaining big screen fun, and a film production design lends itself brilliantly to a mix of studio-bound set designs, Christian shooting, and award, Lord for Grease again, work that college less into the kind of me film. We wish the Vote Indiana Jones movie had been the film plays fast and loose, with a comedy at the expense of trying to envelop our audiences in the 3D experiences. For the purpose of this review, it was a screening standard today, and at time you kind just need to be slug. Let us silness wash over expecting a film in which is this unmaria, both small, enormous, and ultimately never before seemed to engage with any kind of realism, is a way to object disappointment. But I just wish Pion and his team and spent less time with the Bioho 3D aspect of the production and concentrated on crafting a solid film first. Instead of a second, it's a minor gribble, but a relentless pursuit of game. K3D short rear out is welcome first, leaving behind a reported and sly questionable dummy, wasting for the sake of a marketing tool. In terms of pure entertainment, Journey does hit its marks early and maintains the momentum through AC editing, winking lead performances, particularly from Bossel and Hen, who have a better grasp on a kind of semi-serious tone needed to make this material worth and well used, and highly commentable computer graphic visual effect. I mean, this is not a hard-level graphic, but I have seen forwards on bigger budget film with more discerning artistic studios that arguably the most fun thing about the journey to its accompanying musical score by composer Andrio Locking Chun. It's the kind of score I define using the phrase rollicking, a pleasant mix of blasting brass and all, pinking the best of John Hym. And while I would be struggling to show him a melody afterward, the film's clash and bash action sequences are only enhanced by the work of the logging jay in this later python and the locking tone. Worked again several times, A Lone Rampage Incarnate, and Sign the Film does have a very bright sense of cinematography, however of a colorboard pastel, and wiped a visual team park ride material. This is not too much of a criticism, as it is an observation drawn from the fact that the cinematographer David is a legitimate industry heavyweight with the likes of the Greenwell, the Star Wars prequel trilogy. The Day the Art Stood Still and Adam Wingard, that note to his name gives Journey Joe such a plastic feeling, Walmart-flavored looking movie, and it is so desperate the film feels like a 90s video game, at least visually, with a significant effort being made to ensure not a single pixel or frame of the film is robbed in any kind of darkness, and a kinder wanted you to mix things up a bit. "Show us some light and shade tacks," said a visual a little inside. "Everything looks to have been shot in a warehouse lit by the sun. Look, if you are after an undemanding, dramatically predictable, and directly adventures yarn, you could go to far worse than this. Journey to his fast pace and designed with good time in mind, without really asking the viewer to think too hard, is solid and guessing couple. And Michael K. does his best. Michael Kenning Warren was a fantastic known parle, but his 19th century imagination would surely have parked at the notion of berries springing wed after rocks pass, as they do in this kind friendly accuration from the Canadian director Brad Pawn, The New Line and the Country Film Presentation, Boeing in Australia. January 19th before a global roll that riches North America on. February 10th can expect to at least equality to $50 million box office by Air Journey. Most Idol status is set to be hit critical mass with his upcoming role in The Hunger Game. Return as interpreter, young explorer. Seen Anderson in Journey, he was accompanied by his uncle player, Betty Brandon Fraser, by this time royally self-aware. Johnson as his Navy F-stepfather, hang as a responsible adult on board, is now a rebellious 17 years old and skeptical of the new father figures chosen by his mom, the requisite male, pawning in shows when seen to intercept a coded distress signal which lead appeared to end at one point in our full 17 disaster movie, The Swarm reacting to the news that via the insects have managed to Vaughn to military helicopters. Michael Kenny turns the long slam toward a co-star and shoots the immortal word. I never dreamed it would turn into a beast. They have always been our friend. It seems like a dream that this would be the white as be best seen. Kenny would never have to be performed. But now along comes Danito Joe, boasting an aerial chase in which the NY director, he has raised a giant version of his ancient fuse. Happily unlike the work, this available adventure is owned a joke directed by Brad Pton, the man behind Cats and Dog. The reveals of Katie Kellerhan so clearly Hollywood's go-to guy for very silly sequel Journey. To gleefully piles on the impulsivity, so we get a comedy double actor between Candy and Divine Dick. Johnson's as effectively Visa. Match up as Ernie and David, we see them. They stagnatingly call each other Mary Poppins, and he squashes a campfire sing-along. Recapping the movies to the Tune Award, A Wonderful Word, is no one's definition of great kiss cinema. But when that star with the Johnson sons offering, quoting advice of his stepson into everyone bouncing of his desk, is off now to be smile imratable, body own message, plot stuff in less fun, the unholdable from Journey to the Center of the Yard. Brandon as character barely gets a mention, but it's implied he is a build on his nephew. remains a very unengaging screen presence, having to constantly stuck at Johnson, one of Reward's most engaging stars, and the various character art with the heroic boy and hard girl hookup. So don't expect an Avatar. There is a giant wizard-ready adventure that makes no sense at all and is intriguing enough to win through one charm, not every big-budget fantasy. After all, he is a hero, but his face is threatened to be unleashed on a tender cookie. Animated movies have always been a constant source of entertainment for both children and adults alike. Going far to set, trying to avoid a pass they care to in no small part due to Pixar. Thanks to the incredibly high power set by them, other soldiers have raised their game. Live-action movies aimed at the younger generation have fed less well over the years, proving to be hugely predictable in terms of quality with adventures, or is even more so. Just look at the awful Will Ferrell version of Land of the Lost, or even to our predecessor to Journey to the Forgettable Journey to the Center of the Art, which they burned illeser back in 2008 in most cases. Humor takes center stage with total lack of word or anything approaching initiating sadly absent. Thankfully, the journey is an absolute blast, proving that one man packs a united British legend on the back of a giant insect really can be making an entire film. The plot is brutally efficient as a journey to races through its 90 minutes runtime at speed. It starts with a motorbike cases as an old teenage from the actor Josh appears returning. As seen and son, only character captain from the original as far as I can remember, is only run from the police within minutes. We have established that Ken suffering from being an air-intolerable teenager with a S-father Hank in a large shape of the advance, Dar Johnson, whose seer returned from being nice to him, who would not want a rock as a more war and is a hell, bent on finding he is missing the grandfather. Soon a morning adventure is underway between the estranged pair, after a kick bite of me, puzzling and riding solving, as they see a mysterious island picking up a Looney Jones pilot, and he sees her moonlightning daughter, who he has little to do, aside from delivering some very clunky dialogue and providing a little love interest. So far, so predictable and intruding. The film continues along a well route. Cheer goes as the main character Gabby, who fills the role of associated in this case, bordering on total mental deficiency. He is there to do nothing more than make noises and panic to amuse younger children. Others are overacting and seem to go out of control. Yet as the films progress and his adoration of Frank becomes slightly more homoerotic, I found myself clunking along in a small part, I am sure because they would almost certainly act the same way in the presence of The Rock. I found myself laughing throughout the entire movie, especially during the surreal sight of his Tsar, Michael Gough, or consistently facing a fungi Somete Johnson's in fact. Despite Caine's clear desire to pay for an extension to his house, he does seem to have fun with their role, and more surprisingly, for the duration of the movie, I was perfectly prepared for a brief cameo at the end. Divine Jose has always kept one hand in the kid's movie jar, regardless of how many times has been shot on his finger. Yet I admire his thin and sit and ability to walk from the extreme glorious violence of Doom-S into the super surgery world of Henamona. Don't get me wrong, I was the first person to rejoice when his involvement in both fascination deserves some of the rock in their life. I am almost certain that he is a mathematical equation for how much better he makes a movie just by appearing. He even proved a bright spot in the otherwise wonky Ho again. The man's ready with uncanny ears and charm, which make him a much more suitable fit for both adult section movie and children's entertainment, unlike some of the predecessors. What's more, his comic damnation simply shines in the journey, too. For anyone like me who mostly wants to see the film of Johnson's complaint yourself, there are some truly great moments. Have you ever wondered what paternal advice from The Rock about relationships would be like? Want to know more? As a historical sight of cherry, bouncing back flexes in full 3D reveal. All ever wanted to see the big man play a level while singing. In fact, say, from Doug, and get you, and you will get even more of your singing. After the breaking of a big band, it's a song to be glorious. I may have to be take a pregnancy that's in the morning, even though 3D was an unexpected delight, providing plenty of him parks the moment to be affected. Scene might prove a little too instant for the very young, as Jay's ill spider is lizard, or makes any appearances. Despite a old scare, kids should have it with adults, having plenty of surreal moment after Inspire lens to keep them amused and journey. 2, I guess what you might be expecting, it turned out to be a visually rich and thoroughly entertaining ride. The Joseph's 2012 family adventure film, Journey to the Mysterious Island, is making a climb up Place's viewership chart years after kiddies initially dismissed the film. While it might seem surprising at first, the come-up makes complete sense as the film became available to stream on Netflix is just about a week ago. Netflix is programming more PR Journey to 2008 original, which also re-entered a U.S. top 10 this week and currently stand at number 7, that's been led by Fraser and produced during the early wave of cinema, grossed to $44 million globally on a $60 million budget. The simultaneously availability of both titles delivers a 2-film, being for viewer, and a 2 Cousins installment, are ogled by the Joe character. The data shows Journey Joe outperforming its predecessors on the chart, which likely reflects Johnson's enduring streaming pool compared to Raz's small niche, but reassuring the popularity posed by Will the Brad Pawn, directly sequel to Journey to the Center of the Earth, brings back the Hutcherson while replacing the Branch Eraser with Johnson's, and despite the lukewarm 44% cringy score on Rotten Tomato open releases. The film is credited for outcrossing his predecessor at a box office. It had put in $35 million worldwide and a $79 million budget on Netflix's, and Harvard driving it strategic, and Johnson's is one of the platform's most bankable name. Not to forget Eddie Broad. He is very signature chromatic vibe to different franchise at a seeming grand volume. For Journey to the Center of the Art and Journey to the Mysterious Island are both available to stream on Netflix's. Any are granted running, while foreign critical circuit experiences are listed. Weekend overall as a wrong France opener was said by the generous hold over H-Number and Russia and China proper Journey 2. The Mysterious Island to no status for the second consecutive weekend. Overall weekend takeover bros, New Line W Media, family adventure outstaring that was a very promising beginning considering only 2 of the top done international market released this past weekend. As per Fox, a romantic comedy's costling race, opening softly in child market, were extremely loud and incredibly close, which was $22.6 million from 909. The Best Fixes Oscar in Contender premiered number 15 in Japan, $1.2 million from 309 by number 12 in the UK, Number 3 was Fox's release issue in 3D of 1999 Star Wars Episode 1, The Fan May Romance, which lost $7.4 million on the weekend. All for 30 venues in 62 Terry, lifting the offshore come to be $376 million. Ford was Fox's release of The Descendants, trading George Clooney boosted by the half-charm school holiday business in the UK. Disney Moped scored $5.4 million on the weekend on it, 539 sporting a number 2. Market-ranking Market came over 10 days, come to be $10.7 million overall, the live-action animations family. Comedy gross on the weekend, $7.66 million from 42 territories, including the UK lifting his overseas gross total to $59 million. It looked the weekend number 5 spot. Paramore's Mission Impossible Goes brought a gold-sailing Dom propelled this foreign gross to $46 million thanks to $7.4 million weekend. Sony's release of Which Plays Second in the U.S. and Canada held the number 1 spot in New Zealand and yielded $1 million on a weekend. Overall had a $153 million foreign K for the romantic comedy cost rating. The second installment of the franchise might have a more modest 44% critic score. Unturned Tomatoes by Early has not stopped, if from trending over a decade after its release, in addition to the Sammy sequel. The first installment of the franchise journey to the center of the yard, which also became available on Netflix's on The Slim Chair and Stars. Brandon Fraser in the lead role is also trending. Johnson's flick has cracked the national top 10, and as of August 9th, it has reached 3 on U.S. Movie, released on Netflix's. That's not all to Journey to the Mysterious Island, also moved a needle in the UK chart on August 6th. Specifically, it, however, seemed not to have picked up any momentum in the UK since then. Netflix is a programming move-paired journey tool with Aired Original, which also re-entered the U.S. top 10 this week, and currently Standout 7 that led by Frasers and produced during the earliest wave of Turk SEA gross to $44 million globally on a $60 million budget. The brain-directed sequel to Journey to the Center of the Earth brings back a whiling Brandon Erasers, V.A. Johnson's, and despite a blue, warm 44% gating score on Rotten Tomatoes. Upon release, the film is gratitude for the outgrossing his predecessors at the box office. It had pony to $35 million worldwide and a $79 million budget on Netflix's, and how determining his strategic and is one of the platform most bankable. Not to forget that he bought his very signature comedic vibe. The different franchise that is Streaming J value him for Journey to the Center of the Earth and Journey to the Mysterious Island are both available to set 3 Monleys and are currently tending to stay Tunic Collider for more update. Perhaps one of things it takes was best about Journey 2. The mysterious island that gives you sort of a non-sex start. The concept of film is introduced quickly and simply by a going swingy-mingly and then seen she's longitude and attitude coordinate. There are also perhaps so many attempts to make such an plot element with Lanch explanation. The elements are well thought out by dialogue is somewhat clumsy and dedicated to address only other bugbear quickly. There is also the unnecessary complication of gold in this film also. A bite like the latest Gem movie, a sandy, antiquated, and char cinematic move, and hard to be swallow in a life situation. Journey to the Center of the Art was a very secure 3D replacement, and was good and took advantage of that technology. The film may not be up to standard partially based on the other production decision, but a good and utilized CD that's up for sure. Decaz Films is quite good and gives out strong light and fun and makes up for any indication the film may have is clearly delayed, while he's always been a great talent. There he really shows he is already a movie star by carrying up action while some heavy hitter. That being said, Divine Jones does well. Here it is. Usual good delivery of humor and liner are also work. Well, the movie keeps a laugh consistent, which keeps the tone fitting with installment, means that film will earn new fans, RP1s, in an equal measure. The CG on screen is better than TV, and trailers can really give you a sense of it, and action sequences are pretty good. They work especially well with the good 3D Jan Jose's 2012 film's adventure film Journey 2. Dam's Island is making us climb up places years after it is initially dismissed of, while it may seem the surprise at first. The come-up makes complete sense of the film become available to a dream on Netflix's just about a week ago. Janice Johnson's jungle movies have come to be fan his career, but it is the one entry in the signature that is unfairly overlooked. Jones rose to fame as one of the most popular professional wrestlers of the album, and he successfully translated his in-ring charm to the movie world, becoming one of the biggest star in Hollywood. Johnson has solidified his movie star status with big career choices, like in Fast and Furious sub-movie, as well as crowd-pleasing comedies. Fans will get a chance to see another side of him with upcoming forward drama. The Smashing Machine, however, it may be Johnson's many jungle that really made easy career in a cinema, to certainly not the most popular of Divine Johnson's Sing Jungle movie journey. To the Mysterious Island is an underrated manger that deserves a second look. The film is a sequel to be journeying to the center of the yard, with both movies based on novel by the legendary sci-fi author Joel Bourne. Journey to find your S.E. Anderson, joining his stepfather, hang on an adventure to an isolated island filled with such strange creature, along with being one of Johnson's first jungle movie. It also helped establish his trend of coming into show established franchise and stealing thus the show, as with Fast and Furious, the Mommy the CG Jason was still finally his place in Hollywood, but his performances have disestablished. He is likable and funny in a lead role, while also making for the ideal action hero journey to have established a tone for the other jungle movie, The Johnson's World Moon, offering genie and thrillers, as well as family-friendly humor, making it accessible among Johnson's jungle movies. Journey to scored a lowest critical score with 45% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it was a solid box of his success. It seems smaller scale compared to B's later movie. However, Journey 2 deserves more credit for helping to establish a formula that Joseph's returned to be any time in gear, such as it may seem like a rather narrow subgrade genre. But even Josiah managed to appear in a surprising number. It was the Jumanji movies that really helped to make this a noticeable trend in Journal's career, with Jumanji, Welcome to Be Jungle, and Jumanji The Next Level becoming huge, by the time he came to Unblunt for Disney's Jungle Crisis. It was hard to know to be noticed how many of these films Johnson's was, making Journey to the Mysterious Island in the second installment in the Journey film franchise, which features an all-star cast, including the events where 2008's Journey to the Yard was inspired by Joe's classic siphon novel of the same name. Journey to Embarrass is a different one novel. The Mysterious Island as his primary sources material and focuses more on comedy. Unlike the first Sims Underground Exploration Team Journey, to exploit his illusion to an energetic island introducing new characters and challenges. It makes an exciting standalone adventure while maintaining a confection to the franchisee's adventures. This series is an innovative focus, brings a fresh perspective, pretty franchise offering a new adventure that combines element of mystery, fantasy, and action. The sequel stands out for his unique blend of mathematical creature hidden treasure and uncharted jelly tries, providing a visually stunning and thrilling experiences journey to the mysterious island. Not only explore new geometric terrain, but also features a star-studded fast cast and charisma to its fantastical word. Joanne the Road Johnson plays hangperson in Journey. Joe, the mysterious island hanky, seen Anderson's stepfighter of former Navy codebreaker, wholly joins the adventure, typical of Johnson performances. His characters brings a blend of humor, physical prose, and emotional depths. Relationship with his son evolves throughout the movie, adding a layer of family dynamic to adventure storyline. His expertise in navigation and survival skill prove crucial in the challenges they face in the island. Dean Johnson's career transition from a professional wrestler to a Hollywood intergender, known for his static screen, present, and action-packed performances. Johnson has started a major blockbuster like the Fast and Furious franchise as Eliab San Andreas. As Raymond as the Man in His Manor, his role showcases his physical reset, trend, and comedic talent, making him one of the most entertaining stars in the industry journey. Joe, the Mysterious Island, mark an interesting point in Johnson's career as it was, right on the cusp of him becoming a bankable actor who brings in $1 billion at a box office. Josh Hutcherson is a bridge between the first movie and Journey 2 by Mysterious Island as he reprises his role as Sen Anderson. Josh became a household name with his role as Peter Melrose in the Hunger Games series, a part that captured him to be international film. He is pro-portal of decomposition and successful garnered critical acclaim and a massive fan following before the Hunger Game, and already established himself as a talented young actor with role in other adventure film such as JC in Bridge to Be and Watch Her in Zora. A space adventure in 2023, legendary actor Michael Caine plays Alexander Anderson, S. Adventure's grandfather in A Journey, the mysterious island Alexander of Wien. Followers of the Jules Verne work is the reasons behind expedition to the mysterious island. His character is eccentric, full of wisdom, and embodies the spirit of the exploration. Michael Caine's elation career several decades with iconic roles such as Charlie and the classic British crime capital Italian Job. The Tullar character in the 60s drama Alfie and Alfred Penny W. in a Christopher Nolan Droy, his remarkable versatile and distinctive Cockney accent have made him one of the most respected and beloved actor in Sarma. Lois Gamans portrays Gabo, the comical and kind-hearted helicopter pilot who helped a group reach the mysterious island. Typical of Guzman's visual role, his character adds a humorous and relatable touch to the film, often providing comic relief amidst the thrilling action. However, Gab shows concern for his daughter. Kanani and he is a willingness to embark on the dangerous journey for her sake as emotional depth in this role. Louis Gman is known for his character role, often playing likable don't characters in a board film and televisor. The actor has two notable great working relationship in Hollywood as a close friend of the Adams Blanchard. Gassman has featured alongside a comedian in Anger Management. Sandy Mixer, the duo actor, is also be celebrated. Filmmaker Paul Thomas Anderson, with appearances in A Bogey Night, lovin' television's Ghost Man's Gim for his portrait when he saw heads play as Galani Gav's determined and gorgeous daughter, who joins a quest to be find a mysterious island. Her character is a strong-willed resourceful and services as a romantic interest for Kalani's adventurous spirit and bravery make her a key member of the expedition team. And here John's performances brings a sense of determination and charm to be Rosa her role as a muse in the High School Musical series. Christine Jav's portrays led son persona seems caring and reconcerned mother for country allows him to be searched for his grandfather in Journey 2. The mysterious island her characters, while not central to the island, adventure plays a crucial role in the emotional backdrop of the story, representing the family ties and concern back home. Disney's younger ski opened to a surprisingly successful domestic box office, yet bringing in $34 million. But how does it stand up to be Rogue? Other franchises haul the new film. Stars divine the Rogue, Johnson's escaper Frank Wolf, Jungle Cruise is Disney's new adaptations of one of his popular team, Park Ride, like Pirate of the Caribbean, or Haunted Men with a new film, taking from the adventure role, right, of the same name, with Pirate of the Caribbean, showing Donina popularity after the controversy over Captain Jack Scar Journey, and Deep Harley needs a new historical adventure franchise to take over Drain. Jungle Cuss is already providing to be a bit with theaters and the Dream-In. So Disney's may have just find his new parade of the Caribbean team. The Rock Films career he's spanned over 20 years, going from a well-known professional wrestler to one of the most valuable actor in Hollywood. Dosas began in a sporting role in a franchise, an action movie, before moving into a lead role in drama and comedies, eventually helming his own blockbuster franchise, the latest of which being Jungle, grows in reflecting on the franchise success of the Black Rock's career. It's worth taking a look of how Jungle grows band up to be clear box office earning. All to Fast and Furious was a booming franchise since his debut film in 2001. The Rogue painting the cast have bring in more artisticas with his contribution in Fast. The Rogue was introduced as this year's agent Leo Hobb, originally tasked with tracking Dawn and apprehending John Hoskio from German. The Rock has portrayed Hope in the Next World Fast and Furious movie, including his own spin of Hope and Show did not return. For 2001's F9 Fast, $5 Rocks, first entry brought in $109.66 million in his open weekend, keeping a bit of false momentum. Fast and Furious, $6 and $97 million opening box office, and Art, much of the Furious, 70 success, is due to the film's being Paul Barker's last vision after tragically passing away before its release. It ended up becoming one of the highest costs film of all time, racking up an incredible $147 million its opening weekend. The franchise's next film, The Fate and the Furious, still had a rock and a wind dazzle at his, to $98 million at a box office opening weekend. Aaron, not a disappointment by any mean for the Rock spin-off Hopes, and a short box office appearing opening earned only $50 million fast. And F is a two-day car-making franchise that make it difficult to compare to be Jungle Crew. A family-friendly Disney's franchise does standing up on its feet, since the last performing film in The Rock's contribution to Fast and Furious was No Show with a $60 million opening weekend. Jungle Q is bringing in a little more than half their number in the middle of a pandemic still holds well. If Jungle Q's momentum picks up in a subsequent year with the pandemic subsided, it may not be reached Fossil F, but could still perform the competitivity as a rock franchise is almost completely held by his own stardom. Jumanji performed extremely well in the box office. The film series takes from 1995's film of the same name, this time more rising in it a video game context with more action and adventure, Jamie. Welcome to the Jungle, and $36 million is opening weekend, which is one on par with Jungle Kriya, $34 million draft sequel. The next level outperformed VA without of his predecessor with a $59 million offering. Considering a Jungle Kriya performed alone, streaming bringing in another $30 million in its opening weekend is performance A Mummy, one of the most successful adventure franchise of all time for its first sequel, conceding the hot jungle. Kreos is heavily inspired by The Mummy. It's no surprise a rose cleared in a 2 of the latest film. The Mummy Returns end up bringing up in $68 million in its opening box office weekend, outperforming the original film. The auction stared as a lady's The Scorpion King, a prequel to Be Mummy about his abnormous character, which only earned $36 million opening weekend, again taking over in a Brandon Eraser lead franchise. The Rock joined the journey into the center of the art movies in the second installment, Another Direction, action-adventure series. The Rock Hammed, which brought on $27 million from his box office. Opening Jungle's leady performing higher than a 2012 established franchise means it will likely have a longest future than the Journey film with Snake, as Reaping the City film franchise isn't filmed to $40 million in opening box office weekend, Much High and Snake Eyes at $30 million art, laterally being released during a pandemic writer. You enjoy the 3D adventures journey to the care center of the art. The fact that it made over $40 million worldwide pretty much guaranteed that a sequel is coming. We reported last week that a sequel is slated to hit theater in fall 2011, and we assumed star Brandon Alzer was returning. However, according to Deadline Event Journey to the center of the Eraser, the film will soon move straight into the pre-introduction with a deal for director Brad by John. Already in failed place, there's a chance Fraser in return, but apparently it's not looking likely. If there's a case, Josh, who played Fraser's nephew in the first film, will likely end up the lead in the sequel. I guess that's as a lowy call away as many to continue the story if the star of the first film is not going to be returned. The reason Phrases may not make any journey to the art score is because he led strongly about making the first one specifically with director Eric Breen. Hava Studio wants a film in theater next, and Breathing is busy with a upcoming Yogi Veer movie. Even if a Razor's project can still bring in a cash when he returned 40 Mitri, his last films for Fury weekends, bombed at a box office that question is better, or Not Eraser's Rez made our first journey successful. I will be curious to see how much the sequel would make it. Erasers did not return. The film is being shot in 3D again and will likely still feature all the action of the first movie and morale, so people may see it anyway. Razor Zone of Eraser. Would you be interested in a sequel to Journey to the Center of the Earth if Razor was not in it, where you are fan of the first one? Journey to the Mysterious Island picks up a few years after Journey to the Center of the Art. This time around, no one time of the original has decided to come back, except for Josh, who plays a lead character in the film. This time around, Sen is determined to drag down his grandfather's Alexander, who has vanished several years ago, to Deis Mysterious Island. With the help of Hank, various books that form a map that tell them how to get to his island. It's only a matter of time before Hank and C venture to this island to track down Alec's senses and share a new adventure together. When he first saw the trailers for Journey 21, I actually was not that disappointed with the idea. I found it to be entertaining. However, with Brennan phrases involved, I did wonder Way even labeled a film as a sequel. This was quite large, simply just have been called of Mysterious Island, and it could have eliminated us. It necessarily links back the original, which Heavier embedded in the film that was nothing right. That frustrated me a lot of was the constant references to the original, while there was nothing that directly linked to the film other than who could have easily been renamed since George always plays in a 3 days type of film. As the movie along, I found myself becoming less and less interested. The opening sequences of the bicycle chase scene felt like something arrived directly out of the 80s movie, and the entire idea. A troubled teen who is mad at his editor for reaming so glitched and uninspired even for a film. His little one-on-silly scene just become annoying. You can tell the filmmakers clearly wrote him in the film to be jokester, but he quickly became irritating as well, and what made it worse was it felt as if the filmmakers could get Jack Black played a role, so they settled for Girlsman. Besides seeing that Ghostman's character was just written for simple comic relief, it is clear to me that Hugin's original into the film for tourism. The first is to be play the love interest, and the second is, to him candy for art boys who may want to see him film. Pigeons will always looking beautiful on screen does nothing to add to film at all. The relationship between her character Kalani and Senza's, her really forced, and did not come off as natural at all. This was one of the first film that is seen that it clearly felt during the second Sacred Vision that someone said, okay, good, but we need a law interest and we need someone to act like a fool. There are certain things, most films, you, as us, as need, but this one clearly felt as if the characters were uncertain because they added nothing to the film. To end my range on the performances, I have to point out that Michael Skin is part of this film playing a character that he would have played in 98 years before he actually started getting really strong park. He was not bad in the film. However, he constant childish biking back and forth between film and Chavan. Jose's made me roll my eyes several different times. I also have to be said that Devin Johnson is usually likable because he has a good on-screen persona. It's too bad that these films did not ask him to be charming, but I just smell almost every time he was on screen. It was almost like he was the constantly being photographed. I wanted to smell for the camera. I need to mention is a fact that the story felt uninspired and did not really flow well. I already complained about how the films did not need to be referenced back to the original because it did not matter. But there are few other issues as well. The reason Annie Hank went to this island was a trash because it felt too simplicity. But what made it was a film just termed around Ventier in its short learning term. There are interaction with the elephant, dinosaurs, a giant bass, a gent electric, and a trip to be Atlantis. The movie also really used so many special effects that at least me looked extremely cheap and unrealistic. The film seemed to bank on the CGI to sell the movie as well as a 3D effect. I also did not like the fact that the film used so many slow motion effectively. It's like the filmmakers said, You know what? Would you make the scene cooler if it was slowed down a bad? And it would have been fine. It is some done once the problem. However, is that a film did it repeatedly, during every single moment where something involved special effect happened, from the being flight scene during underwater scene. In conclusion, I was extremely led on by Journey to the Mysterious Island. I feel that I was harder on the film than a lot of others this year because I actually saw some sort of potential this film from the trailer. I usually love family adventure film and found the first one to be rather enjoyable. This one just felt uninspired and unnecessary. I spend in cheering for positive things to say about a film, but really just left a tattoo, saying to myself at least when he saw Keo was nice to look at. I hate being that guy and saying stuff like that, but I just did not feel like anything else worked in the film. I thought Michael Scan was fun, but a constant challenge banter, join Jose, made me angry. The way the films and leading to be sequel was like the straw that broke the camel's back for me, because it's like what else can these people do, and why would they do it? Just felt forced like the majority film. I really can't recommend a film. I would say if you want to watch it, wait for Hit the Books or catch in cable. When considering whether or not you want to be watched, was Journey to the only questions you have to be asked yourself is, do I disapparently needed to see the rogue layer unclear and bones bit this man? Entreated as far as I can tell, those who seen are the only reason for the film's existence. The best is a B of how bad Sita's cartoony is spectacle and sickly family sentiment that should have even the most forgiving children on a sugar high rolling their eyes in a display. The whole smacks are inspiration with a filmmaker's rugging to such a forgettable blockbuster intro franchise, and a cast are recognizable actors barely trying to conceal the fact that he signed up for a well-paid tropical vacation that just happened to involve a film shoot. It feels more like a So Dark with the sequel than a marquee studio release. Now, Journey to the Center of the Art was never a great movie, but at least some breezy entertainment with a few newfangles still in it. Fans-fi. When that flick came out, it played more like a 90-minute CM Park attraction than a movie showing every fancy pop out of the screen technology, with a seemingly endless series of set pieces that never got bogged down with concern, like telling a story or crafting memorable character. It was not a great, but it was a good visual case, while 3D when it was still a novelty, and that's all the movie had to be. But it's sequel time now, and with already trying out 3D, that is not enough to carry a movie anymore. Now 3D flicks have to be work on Mar and Saturday, vlog enjoy some jet, dreamed up and even less compelling story them. The movie opens Don protagonist fun, from the last movie escaping from cops, like clutching a stolen broadcast that he is Hope's for grandfather. You see, Sin is a Vinian, a special breed of people convinced that everything wrote about a fact, given his lost adventure. He has good reasons to feel that Wyan convinced his grandfather is stuck on Veer Mysterious Island. Shamefully, he's a go and used stepfather played by The Rock, whose Navy braining gave him the necessary ski to decode a message and kick some metrical creatures. They had to be coordinate. They were sent to meet up with Aloy Ghostman and she love interest Keo as a four-daughter team, who take them via helicopter. Shockingly, they end up trapped on the island with Grand Peppy as a guide, give a series of CJ sidees involving Volcano of Gold, riding giant bee learning lessons about reconnecting with a parent, and for some reasons finding the new drugs, found a stented leakage under the sea. Right every battle in this movie is very lackluster, while Journey 1 feature scene with the characters fighting into the camera every few minutes to take advantage of. The new dimension in Journey 2. It almost feels like an effort. Sure, there are plenty of imperfectionary action scene, but it never really like advantage of 3D, which kind of seemed like the way whole point is this franchise. The gent lizards and chinny elephant that populated Island are kind of fun, but honestly the trailer gives away every expensive sequences. So you can't even count of getting some sort of minor joy or surprises there. The cast is good in theory. They just have nothing to work with him. The Rock can also be charmed and beat things up, but he grasping it raw with a boring, caring step for character. He does get to play the ugly story, which is wired as hell to see, but it might to be best to wait until the immutable and humorous YouTube videos that will arise from the scene to be captured. Aaron Jeniff's pride fell like a jealous movie clone, while in the cute are stuck with a drag, pretty archetype with little to no personality that is Michael G. You might be asking yourself what a esh is. Michael G doing a Journey 2. Well, it claims this for his grandkid, but this movie was taught in he, and I'm sure that Jing had a nice and relaxing time, because he certainly was not burdened with a much captain to worry about. So, as you probably walked by, Nova Journey to the Mysterious Island is a bad movie. There I recall nothing in a hair you have not seen done better before anyone. Javon Johnson has a healthy list of movies on his resume that are better than his. And yes, that included George Fye, to be fair the most. Movies for children. And I suppose that if you are talking along a youngster who hasn't seen many adventure movies, or is not exhausted with pretty, the little would have a good time. The kid would probably have a better time with it. Family like the Goon. This, but I would not get him out of this house, so I can't sympathize just being along a follow pillow for yourself. We are going to need it. Journey to the Mysterious Island marked the second Beyond Fraser franchise that Johnson started to take over via the Kojin King, but his name, The Rock, was much more successful, as it looked like he has permanently supplanted Reveiw Fraser, whose character I don't think was even mentioned in the sequel. As I tell male lead in the Journey series, I would not blame Furs of jumping ship because I actually saw Journey to the Center of the Art. Fem I have ever sat through, including my Bloody Valentine Treaty, Shock Knight Treaty, and Piranha Treaty, if not for this summer that Mag of Yogi Bear. The first Journey would still hold my personal title fall for a city movie of all time. A dishonor if had reigned for almost half of a decade. The trailer for Journey 2 could have included better highlight. More on the latter. But after my experiences with the original, I definitely wasn't going to pay for this one either. Despite Wisa Kojun, the Mysterious Island ended up being an in Bonaire while movie helping. I can see how much greater entertainment Journey 2 can be for family, which explained its surprising success at a box office, and I probably would have enjoyed this a couple decades ago. The integrations of different classic novel into the plot's need and the 3D is actually quite impressive, especially when combined with a slow mono. That trailer simply did not do it justice. But that could be a good thing, is an era when most previous spoiled the vessel part. Imaginative sets and the descent action sequences through the various exotic backdrop of the Mysterious Island to be a true adventure that will thrill children and maybe younger dream. I can only imagine what a 3D version of update of Jurassic Park King, Gang, or Honey, I Shrunk the Kids would be alike, which is basically what this movie is, except much closer to PG land than PG-13 Terror Fry. So, ultimately everything work, somehow ever so, commercially, magically, or arbitrary. Josh, the only correction to this original journey, beside that very word in a board title, she has had a long career as a child actor, and he said to be breakthrough in the hunger. Michael Kenny, enjoy your payback. I hope you saved your sont of your most anticipated movie of 2012, Let's Play, purely for Tommy Gree. But he's not always funny, probably because the inclusions of every single little comment of he to be everything that's happened result in an overall overtone. Where is a huge? Damn, I don't want to be sounded like a pedophile, but damn, I mean, she's an entire tank. Top damn, and it is a slow-mo shot of her during a storm. So she is a word in 3D Simone, just that's better than her blonde in Sucker Punch. Alina have to be. Too much journey. 2, the mysterious island shows that Divine Joseph may be able to be taken. Beyond strictly action is probably the Rocky's best family, but it's a not much competition in a category raise that to the one was so creepy that don't like the Wikipedia, less equals to B, video and only Larry the Cable Guy accepted the cake. As for future journey, there is no stringer after the carries out the mysterious island, but I expect the sequel. If you need to be baby state, comes Journey to the Mysterious Island will do. Journey to the Mysterious Island gets 2.5 out of 5 star, or C+. The trailer of Journey 2 could have included battery highlight, more on that later. But after finishes with the original, I definitely was not going to be for one eater, despite Hugin. I can see how much great entertainment Journey can be for families, which explains surprising excess at a box office, and they probably would have enjoyed as couple decade ago. The indication of different classic novel in the uploaded indies are actually quite impressive, especially when combined into the slow-mo that simply did not do it justice, but I could be a good thing in an era when most primitive asserts and decent action sequences toward various exotic backdrop island, a few adventure that will thrill children and maybe younger 13. So we can only mention what a 3D version or update of Jurassic, but this movie is except much closer to PG Align than PG-13 Terror Drive. So, ultimately everything works out somehow ever so conveniently, magically, or elaborately. Hollywood produces lots of bad movies, but there's a particular type of bad movie. It does that makes me positively uncomfortable. That would be the children's final league action film, in which everybody once again stands around, and it is smiled to be, broadly, but was simly, seriously. It's like a living version of a love track. Everything here is so highly entertaining. The film seemed to be saying, why are not having fun is so painfully artificial. Have a hard time watching the screen. It's a way of promoting an in-sit version of real life to young people who old enough to know. It's total Marley. These are thought-bouncing and around my brain for most of the whole something minute that can sit your journey too. That mysterious island is probably silly to be expected. Anything from this film, sure we all love. John Thoreau Johnson. Michael Caine can be assured with a aggressively medic endeavor is numbling or insulting, but why do people creep awakens in my travel? I neglect you to see the first journey, that one journey to the center of the art. By Brandon Fraser in it. but it is not better if the two films are linked together by young adventures who is team up with our stepfather. He can't stand to find an uncharted island that's been discovered by Indiana Jones, like grandfather send love, interest to tag along. And soon the gang is being chased by big lizards and bees. And the Electric Eel Journey 2 was directed by Brad Bond, who previously brought her under Unwanted Sequel. Cats and Dogs are Reveiw of Kitty Claw, like Johnny 2, that was also in 3D. If Peaton's not careful, he's going to wholly corner the market on fitfully dull kids' action movie. This one has a little more excitement than Kitty Gore, but like too many action flicks scared to jungle people, it wets simplicity, emotional manipulation, and adult cess. What remaining greatest jump at a camera for shock value from moment to be, moment I was not sure what artist's journey to was going after, although it might still scare hope that some voice on the cusp of will adopt the Rock's advice to be seen about popping your packs to be impressed. Again, I don't have help you over notion skills in shape, and since the film is not safe, sufficiently fun or exciting ever have to be sustained interest. My mind wanted all of the place. Gee, the effect in this thing, while pretty substandard, wow, when he saw people must betray that she walk around his way movie. Wearing a jewel tank top, man was so good, in the kids are all right, and such a waste. In this time, why does Johnson have such a log opinion of his talent? That he goes to the sort of throwaway film, and when is this thing about? So can they go home? The Mysterious Island looks like nothing so much as one of those live-action adventure that Disney used to grant out in the 1950s. And hey, his captain, Nemo's, Nero's, humble Swiss family Robinson, which contains a shortwave radio that has been assembled from old Spawn. I think I hear the movie is very, very loosely a sequel to be Journey to Recent Art, with only two connection is inspired by Joe's weird novel, and it goes yang, Josh, as a hero. The film opened with him on a motorcycle and being chased by cop. But not to worry, all he did was break into a state tracking session to boost the power on a message for her, sent by his grandfather from a lost island in the Pacific. Sen, whose father in the first film has disappeared from the chaos anyway, now has to deal with a Hank, a rock hanking his new step-pad. Josh and Hank make friendly by decriting the grandfather's message. Hank glances at meanin' Jude, that the two slivers is word, stand for daughter and one SO for dashes, which means the grandpa has had enough free time on his more talent figure, out a way to make more code, several time longer than it previously was. Unanswered is why grandfather would engraved a girl for her. This quite a guy he purposes to out him fly up to the Pacific and find Grandpa on arrival somewhere. They hire a tourist helicopter pilot named Gabao. Gaboo has a daughter named Kilani, a police vote who wears a tank top and a DC throughout her film. These four fly off in a helicopter, are trapped in a Force 5 hurricane that drives to our bases under, are lucky enough to find themselves alive on the beach of the mysterious island. This is your complete island. It has an active volcano, waterfalls with no apparent water sources, streaming down elephant our size of dog, and gently that are nowhere big enough to be accounted for the size of their egg. Also in Thailand is the loss of city Atlantis. Even is the wrong auction, and we so big and going about right on the back of one. And Alexander Anderson can S4, played by the Michael G., who will not be editing this role into his video about how to act in movie. I hope you understand and enjoyed most of the stuff. The Dr. Brad pattern apparently intended it as a general parody of countless other movie in his spirit. There was, example, a scene where Sengulani and Gab, to all, is around the old campfire and listened while Hank Serum, sing What a Wonderful Word. And I mean, he sings it every word of these verses. It's not every day you see the rock channeling Gan out see. This is that Warner's novel can't change everything. There need to be no, and this comes in a handy when the volcano explored and the island began to sing into the sea. Sure enough, Captain Submarine is still hidin' underwater. Hank and trusting Vive of a high slip, and while holding their breath and swimming underwater, are able to find us. Open a house by dragging and twisting it. Swim inside bush labor to fill it with high hair and get to be power generator working. By this is a goofy hit. Is not a good movie in our usual terms, but it is jolly any good manager, and Michael Caine and Javan Johnson are among the most likable actor. Johnson is such a good sport. He even shows young can how to be impressive girl by flexing your net of them. I can't think of any reason to pay extra for 3D. Journey to the Mysterious Island picks up a few years after Journey to the Center of the Art. This time around, no one from the original has decided to come back except for Josh, who plays a lead character of Sen in both the film. This time around, Sen is determined to drag down his grandfather Alexander, who has vanished several years ago, to the mysterious island. With the help of Hang Sen, learned that if you ripped out 3 bags from various books that day, from our map when I first saw the trailer of our journey, to I actually was not that disappointed with an idea. I found it to be entertaining, however, without Brandon Fraser involved. I did wonder why they labeled the film as a sequel. This film could have simply just have been called A Mysterious Island, and it could have eliminated the necessary links back to the original, which were embedded in the film. That was one thing right off the bat that frustrated me a lot, was the constant reference to the original. M was nothing that directly linked to the film that I didn't see, who could have easily been named since those always plays in a 3D stop film. As the movie moved along, I found myself becoming less and less interested. The opening sequences of the bicycle chasing felt like something wrapped directly out of an 80s movie, an entire idea for the troubled teen, who is very marrying so clear and inspired even for a family film. The movie after his introduction gets a bit more interesting until Gaiman entered and become a plucky comic relief. He is little one-a-liner and see him just become annoying. You can tell the filmmakers clearly wrote him in the film to this jokester. Miss thinks that a ghost man's character was just written in a simple comic relief. It is clearly me that Huggins was also written into film for 2 reasons. The first is to play the love interest, and the second's to be eye candy. For all the 10 teen boys who may want to see this film, will always looking beautiful on screen. There's nothing to add a film at all. The relationship between her characters and C and Sus felt really forced and did not come off as nature at all. This film was one of the first film that is seen in a while. It regularly fed during the second Sacree. Someone said, okay, it's good, but we need a love interest, and we need someone to act like a fool. There are certain things, most films are using it, but this one clearly felt his character wherein charted, because there is nothing to the film. To end my rant on her performances, I have to point out a Michael Kenny is about to film playing a character that he would have played in an Antes before actually started getting really strong part. He was not bad in the film. However, the constant shield be back and forth between him and Javon Josine made me roll my eyes several different times. I also have to say that Divine Chosen is usually likable because he has a good on-screen persona. It's too bad that films did not ask him to be charming, but rather just smile almost every time he was on screen. It was almost like he was constantly being photographed. I wanted to smile for the I need to mention is the fact that the story felt inspired and did not really flow well. I already complained about how the films did not need to be preferences back to the original because it did not matter about it or a few others issue as well. The reason Sen and Hank want to be this silent was a satch because of it felt to be simplicity. But what made it was why the film just jumped around when they got to a dare. In a short running time, there are interaction with elephant dinosaur giant based a joint electrical air. The movie also really used too many special eleic. The film seemed to be bank on a CJ to sell the movie as well as the 3D effect. I also did not like the fact that the film use so many slow motion effect repeatedly. It's like the filmmaker said, you know what, would you make the scene cooler if it was slow down a bite, and it would have been a fine if was done once. The problem, however, it is, the film did it repeatedly during the every single moment where something involving special effect happened from the speed fight scene to the underwater scene. In conclusion, I was extremely let down by Journey to the Mysterious Island. I feel that I was under to be filmed that a lot. Feeling at JoJo, at first I assumed it had something to do with Johnson's working his friend and the persona to steal another hit. But then I realizes are literally the same to the story as A Journey to the Center of the Earth, for what is Journey to is a decent film that caught her to the very young. The Seaborn adventure feature as a film, few interesting scenes, notably those involving Elisa and Arik, but mostly shorters, but work hard to be SC and end grown-up material. I am not saying that a film was soft, but is PG for a reason. Lo Guzman has an unfortunate task at delivering some truly embarrassing joke, and when he saw huge June, his daughter, come across a bee-told as he constantly speak for looking to attend college. The romance in the film is overly pushed out. Two young lady with weird chemistry. This is bonus feature are not too impressive as a gagriel, a deleted scene feature, and an interactive map leave you scene of unfalf surprisingly strong. But in again, family films stand to be gone. A listener to INF still, even with all sport Journey to generic family adventure, sadly, that is probably enough to be certain it target market. Iodi career Judd one and only Stiffine better man, who while returning at Fox told me that I have too many opinion and irrelevant information to keep it all ported up inside. I survived my first letter of him alive at ripe age of it. It took me one to grasp of fact that Julia Robert actually died at the end of Still Magnol, and I might to be the only person alive who actually enjoyed comedic value, of course, while my friends can drink you under the table. I cannot trust you when it comes iconic. Yet films like Adventure in Babysitting Tattoo, Bravery Hill, I have no shame when it come to I like. And you have a problem with that, and we settle it on the request ball. I see too many movies to actually win any film trivia contest. So don't waste your first pick on me. My friends sent movies from my bookcase shelf, and one day I do plan to start charging. I long to live in a L.A. where my movie obsession will actually help me fit in. But for now, I am going with my home in SDN. Journey to a Mysterious Island in the second installment in the Journey film franchise, which features an all-star cast, including Venda. Walreen's journey to the Center of the Art was inspired by the jewel classic sci-fi novel of the same name Journey. Tomb embarrassed the friend version. Novel The Mysterious Island, as it primarily league source material and focuses more on comedy. Unlike the film's underground exploration team journey to expand its horizon to an end in the medic, introducing new characters and challenges. It makes for an exciting standalone adventure while maintaining a connection to the franchise's Advent spirit. This shifts in this narrative's focus brings a fresh perspective to the franchise, offering a new adventure that combines element of mystery, fantasy, and action. The sequel send-off for its unique blend of metal creature hidden treasures and uncharted territories, providing a visually stunning and thrilling experiences. However, 2012's journey to the Mysterious Island not only explores new terrain, but also features a car that adds depth and charisma to its fantastical world. The film's assembled compromises both as a seasoned actor and rising star, including Dwayne Dares in an interesting transitional phase of his career. Dwayne Darrow Jones plays Hank Person in Journey to the Mysterious Island. Hank is his son's stepfather, a former Navy core breakers who electronically joined the adventure. Typical of Chosev performances, his character brings a blend of humor, physical proof, and emotional depths relationship. This scene evolved throughout the movie, adding a layer of family dynamic to the adventure storyline. His expertise in the navigation and survival skill proves crucial in the challenges they face on the island. Dean Joseph's career transition from a professional wrestler to a Hollywood superstar is legendary, known for his charismatic screen presence and action-packed performances. Jason has starred in a major blockbuster like the Fast and Furious franchise as Lope San Andreas, as Leod, and Jumanji as Spencer. He is also showcasing his physical strength and comedic talent, making him one of the most entertaining stars in the industry. Journey to the Mysterious Island mark an interesting point in Jason's career, as it was right on the cusp of him becoming a bankable actor who brings in $1 billion at a box office. Joe Schersensen is a bridge between the first movie and Journey to the Mysterious Island as he reprises his role as Sean Anderson, the intent young explorer from the 2008 film. See Barack on another extraordinary adventure, this time to find his missing grandfather on a metrical mysterious island. His character's bravery, intelligence, and curiosity drive to deploy as he navigates through the island wonder and danger. Sen's development from the first film is evident, showcasing a more mature and confident explorer, yet retaining the youthful andium that define his character. Josh became a household name with his role as Peter Malick in the Hunger Games series. Apartheid catapulted him to be international film. His portal of his composition and resourceful Peter gained critical acclaim and a massive fan following before the Hunger Game had already established himself as a talented young actor who would role in an adventure film such as Jesse in Suri Ducha and Vulture in A Space Adventure. In 2023, he starred in the PG-13 sleeper hit horror movie Five Nights at Fridays as Mike Simid. Legendary actor Michael Graham plays Alexander and Son Adventure's grandfather in Journey Joe, the mysterious island Alexander of Vian, followers of Joel in the reasons behind explanation to the mysterious island. His character is eccentric, full of wisdom, and immodest, like the spirit of the exploration. Kenny's portrayal brings a scene of the gravity and charm to the film, serving as a mature figure to the younger character while engaging the adventure without full vigor. Michael Kenny's illustration career spans several decades with iconic roles such as Charlie in the classic British crime Capper the Italian Job, the titular character in the 60s drama Ollie and Alfred Benny, Christopher Newland, Dark Nitrology. His remarkable versatility and distinctive cognate accent have made him one of the most respected and beloved actor in Sanma Kim's ability to adopt to be various genre from drama to be comedy has earned him numerous allode, including our Academy Award. His latest film, 2023, The Great Escaper, marks the last a film of career after Gan announced his retirement. Cuz portrays Gabriel, the comical and kind-hearted helicopter pilot who helps the group reach the mysterious island, typical Guzman's usual role. His character adds a humorous and relatable dut, often providing a comic relief amidst the thrilling action. How we're concerned for his daughter Kalani and his willingness to embark on a dangerous journey for her sake adds emotional depots is unknown for his character role, often playing likable Sandy W. over, and the actor is also close to be celebrated. Filmmaker power Thomas Anderson, with the appearances in Bogey Night Magnolia and The Punch Strong Love in television. Those masks gained acclaim for his portrayal of games. Adams on The Witness when he saw Hans, Kelani, Gab's determined and gorgeous daughter who joins a quest to find a mysterious island. Her character is a strong-willed, resourceful, and serve as a romantic interest for Senwer Kalani's adventures. Her spirit and bravery make her a key member of the expedition team, and Hugin's performances bring us in our determination and charm to be role. Hugin's roles will be fame, with her role as Gabrielle Keeson Davis portrays Lee Anderson persona, C.M. Scaring, and son Mother, who reluctantly allows him to be searched for his grandfather in Jado. The mysterious silent her character, while not yet central to the island's adventure, plays a crucial role in the emotional backdrop of the story, representing the family dies and concern back home. Davis is best known for her role as Charlotte York in Sex and the City, which earned her voice recognition. She notably returned to the role of the car in the Max Reveiw series and Last Black Dad for 2 seasons, with the Analyze Black Death Season 3 in development. The Rock's upcoming projects include Fast and Furious, 7 and some as yet unsatisfied DC superhero. We are pretty sure we know what it is, but he also got it covered in the family-friendly movie department. No, that does not mean another tour fairy movie. Saying Dean Johnson, It does apparently mean we will be catching 2 new installment in a Journey series, which added Johnson. So mix in the bunny titled second installment Journey to the Mysterious Island new line and has Johnson's attached to Journey 3 for some 2 years now. But this is the first we have of Journey 4, also being in the work, our plan. Schedule permitting is assured that 3rd and 4th Journey movie installment back-to-back with Josh Pressing as Johnson's son-in-law, sock-writing brother, that any Gary Pay had reportedly said to be work as opening S for both adventure film, The High R. Fresh of a coal, Richard Jones's upcoming 3D Theor action film, San Andreas, which was also directed by the Journey to Houseman, Brad Pond. He is expected to be returned to the cult. A story on Journey Tree, Python was also once Lint Job, to be directed a Lobo movie starring Joseph before that project was scanned. Rumor has it that Journey Tree may involve a trip into outer space. It's probably safe to assume that such a storyline will be a child more like Ked than something like Gravity if Journey 3 and 4, Journey to Grasp, does $35 million worldwide and gates a $39.9 million budget, and was mostly successful in achieving its goal, offering a wholesome adventure story and colorful pop effect for younger one, while Johnson's and his adult hostess provided some writer banter for older folk. So, yeah, franchise has not exactly had of lofty MBSN to date, and he presumably want a change with done next 2 installment, as well as being decent pop art for the whole family to enjoy their next to be his journey how to get the job done. New Line and Evolution have had Johnson's Attitude Journey 3 for some 2 years now, but this is the first we have yet. Journey 4 also being in the works. The HRC says the planned schedule, premature and it will be shoot. And 3rd and 4th Journey, movie installment, back-to-back. The R Fresh Offer Zones, upcoming 3D disaster action film, San Andreas, which was also directed by Journey to Hell. Man Brad Bond, he is expected to be returned to. Kayla's Short of Journey. Trebon was also once L to direct a Lobo. Movie starring Johnson before that project was G.I. Are currently working on the Steel Team 6 adaptations of supernatural-like action. Flick-a-Visionar Johnson's vehicle, that is to say, this photo hires and pattern humor has that Journey Tree may involve a trip into the outer space. It's probably safe to assume that such a storyline will be a that more light here than something like Gravity. Is January 3 and 4 are going to be filmed back-to-back. Then it flashed, Fieble Former will end on a cliffhanger that set up the forward installment. It could also be that New Line and the Belgian would prefer to shoot these movies together for cost efficiency, since they will be filmed largely on sound stages with a green backdrop. Journey 2 gross just over $335 million worldwide in theater and $79 million budget, and was mostly successful, achieving this goal, offering a wholesome adventure story and colorful pop or 3D effects. Producers Hams explained why Art has not been a sequel for the V. Joseph's film journey to the mysterious island journey, to which came to be dated on February 10, 2012, was a sequel to be Journey to Descend of the Art, a loose adaptation of the 1884 Jules scientist fiction novel of the same name. It follows Ederson and his uncle Trevor, realizing that his father was a Verrier, a scientist who believed that a work for Rule, the secretly true to 4 years later sequel journey to his another loose adaptation of a monol. This 875, The Mysterious Island, replacing the Brandon Razor role, is a stepfather Hank played by Dan Joseph, along with the Vanessa Hodgen and the Leos Gassman. They explore an island populated by the creature and friend that they have should want to be incredible, yes.